I submit to the one who submits to you. I fight him who fights you. Until the last day. The Seed of the Sacred Fig was written and directed by Mohammad Rasulov, who did There Is No Evil, Manuscripts Don't Burn, and other critically acclaimed projects. Check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work, and this takes place in Tehran, Iran, and unfortunately, I cannot hear that without thinking of the Iron Sheik. Iran, #1, USA, Toy! Rest in peace, Sheiky, but taking place in Tehran, Iran at the height of political unrest, or at least one of the heights of political unrest. Read up on it. Boy, oh geez, the poor citizens of Tehran, Iran. Basically, there is a man named Iman, played by Misag Zareh. If I mispronounce any of these names, if I'm even within like the zone, the zip code, the postal code of getting these names right, please let me know. He is rising up in the ranks, trying to become a judge, trying to earn a really good living to give his family a really good life, move into more secure housing, and things will go well. He just has to basically follow the system, a system that is a sinkhole of corruption. And then after a certain incident involving an object that he is given that ends up going missing, things start to unravel, and lies upon mistrust continues to grow. So this received a bunch of critical acclaim. Obviously from critics, clearly that's what critical acclaim means, and also from the film festival crowd. Speaking of the film festival, I want to talk a little bit about the lengths and the amount of just, insanity that was behind this project. And I don't mean insanity as far as what the filmmakers did or what the cast did or, their own thoughts. I mean the lengths that they had to go to make this fucking movie. Because it was filmed mostly in secret with financing from multiple companies in France and Germany to tell this story of the massive unrest in Tehran, Iran, and Iran in general. And yeah, there were a lot of moving parts involved in this, to the point the writer-director spoke out about certain, protests not being handled right by the government, to the point he was fucking jailed, and he was able to flee Iran and attend the premiere at the Cannes Film Festival. And he's talking about that. There's interview clips out there. I'm not really going to go too deep into that, but I will just say it is fucking moving. It is incredible. The more I read about it, the more I heard from this guy, the more I read up about it. I wanted to see this movie. It was playing briefly, very briefly, for like a week or so at select theaters in my area. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see it until it hit streaming. I plunked down about $7 to rent on Amazon. And I am happy to report that this movie is pretty fucking incredible as far as what it took to make it, the performances, and the fact that it really just zeroes in on this family and a few people in their inner circle, shall we say. And about how just, the insanity, something can drive somebody so insane that they go against their own beliefs or what they preach and everything. It is really, really just performance driven. It's really fucking great. It's nearly 3 goddamn hours. It's like 166 minutes. For those of you that aren't math majors, that is just a shade under 3 hours. I do want to praise Zareh, who plays Iman. Terrific, magnificent performance here. I do want to shout Najmeh again. I'm trying here. Sonlia. God, again, I'm probably screwing that up. She does really great as the mother. Really, really fucking great. You can see the pain on her face. Trying to, be an Iranian woman, and the fact that so many, women's rights are stamped down in multiple countries. This one included, don't get me wrong. But it's a lot worse for a lot of other people. And she really does have that pain on her face, and you can see it, like the stress and everything, the wear and tear on her, which might have really come from the fact that they had to film this mostly in secret. And I do want to shout to Dars. Sana, who plays the younger one, Satare, she does a really, really good job here as a young girl. Then you have Rezvan, who, again, think I'm getting that right, Masha, she, or Masha, She's really, really good as wanting to bring forth more, opportunities for these protests to be seen. That the news is lying, that all this stuff's going on, it's propaganda, it's all this stuff again, like's going on here, but at a much, much, much higher and much more infuriating degree over in that part of the world. And the mere fact that this film exists is fucking incredible. And the fact that it has been so well received. That this film is magnificent. And while, yes, the 3 hour or near 3 hour length can seem like something that would turn some people off, there are so many great performances in this and so many great shots and great cinematography, and some of it filmed guerrilla warfare style. Again, the aforementioned, filming in secret. It is so good that you can't help but sink your teeth into it. My only complaint is that maybe this film could have been trimmed down by 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, I did watch The Brutalist. I watched Beau is Afraid. I watch a lot of goddamn movies. This is not nearly as draining as Killers of the Flower Moon, because that movie just had no business really being as long as it was. This was very, very good, and as far as the 4 central performances, really, this family, like, you can just see the pain on the mother's face, the 2 daughters that really just want, to bring this generational gap together about seeing, just going away from the ideas that the government drills into you and maybe, being more progressive and everything, letting women be women, letting women stand up for themselves, this kind of stuff, and then stamping that shit out and having the societal norm, the government norm. It really is a nice, thing about generational trauma, generational gaps, and just how people see things differently. And it's really fucking incredible, again, that this film got made. The 3 actresses, apparently, according to what I read, 3 of the actresses got exiled. Really? Fucking really? Hey, maybe Iranian government, maybe you should actually realize by looking in the goddamn mirror that you might want to be a little more progressive. I'm not saying be like us, but maybe recognize that women are human too. And you could actually, maybe not be the subject of films like this and actually be seen as progressive people. Again, there are a lot of people in this country and in the goddamn world that could see things differently and properly. But it is so fucking good that I can't help but heap praise on the performances. Again, besides trimming off a little bit from the runtime, that's really the only quibble I have. Yes, the 3rd act takes a hard shift, a really hard shift. But it also makes sense when you look back on the film and you see the mindset of Iman and the expressions on his face and just the family involved, and just the fact that this family, as much as they do love each other, they are going to fracture. They are ready to split the fuck apart and explode. Also, a shout for showing the TikTok format of the protests and everything, and how social media is a great gateway to show what's really fucking happening instead of what the news shows. Like showing the stuff that's bloody, brutal stuff. And it's only PG-13. It goes the zone of interest route. What you don't see, what you just hear, is sometimes more horrifying. So yeah, Seed of the Sacred Fig absolutely deserves all the accolades it got. Hopefully it wins Best International Film. I am going to get into spoilers, which really won't take very long because it's very performance-driven. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So basically, Iman is going to get this promotion, but he has to basically hold up this these job norms, sign certain things he doesn't want to sign, go against his conflict of interest, not just uphold the law, but get maybe a quota, get certain people quell the uprising of all this shit that's going on. Again, the sinkhole of corruption, that kind of stuff. Najmi, really good, really, really good. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing these names. I'm so goddamn sorry. I'm hyped up to talk about this, but I have a problem pronouncing some names. Again, the fact that the writer-director was able to be there and that so many people put their lives at risk to make this is just great. The news talking about the lies, promoting the lies that the protests are because of this, when they're actually just women wanting freedom, which isn't the worst thing in the world. And there is, this opening line about, the Fiscus religiosa is a tree with an unusual, life cycle, that its roots, grow in mysterious ways, wrap around, and then the fig tree, the sacred fig tree, is able to grow. There's this side plot that actually really causes the thing to explode. Sadef, who, that actress, really fucking terrific as well. She ends up, basically standing up for protests, this kind of stuff, or, being part of the protests, and unfortunately ends up at the hands of, some big violence where buckshots, like, shrapnel, ball bearings are in her face. There's like this part where Najee is picking the stuff out of her face. The two daughters try to hide her, but it's like, you can't hide something where she has, by the way, no eye. Her eye is basically, it's like this. It's fucked. And ball bearings are being picked out. It is brutal. There are a few slow-mo lengthy parts. There's a hair cutting part. There's a shower part where I'm like, I don't know if we needed to do that necessarily. I think we could have gone with a few artistic parts in this. But that being said, it's beautifully filmed. And also all this centers around the fact that Iman gets a gun issued to him, and about 81 minutes in, the gun is suddenly gone. Now, why is the gun gone? Did the wife take it? Did one of the daughters take it? Did he leave it at the office? Did he leave it in his car and it got stolen? Did he leave it somewhere else? Was he drunk? What actually happened? It's really not too hard to figure out actually what happened, because who you think it is actually isn't who you think it is. Go for the least likely suspect, but nevertheless, about 81 minutes in, it's almost halfway through the movie. The movie, or the thing really starts to kick into gear. There is another thing about the wife having a friend that has somebody they could look for, who has gone suddenly missing. After being bloodied and everything and having the bandage over her eye, and her hijab, however you say it, the wrap that you put, religious wrap that you put over your face and your head. Help me, I've gone blank about being respectful. It's got blood on it from the stuff that happened, but they need to send her home. Yeah, the parents won't notice the blood on that. It's fine. It's fine. Just say it's raspberry jam, assuming they sell that over there. Basically, because the gun went missing, it could affect his work. Somehow. I guess because it's issued, government issued. I guess. And now the family, the wife and daughters are looking in every single drawer, looking for that. Then the wife's friend's husband does some interrogation, some therapy session, trying to grill and figure out what happened, where'd the gun go, all this. Resident says that it wasn't her that took the gun. There was a nice family dinner that goes completely tits up. That was a really good scene, a great dinner debate stuff. That was really magnificently performed. And the wife basically says, hey, you need to spend more time with your kids. Well, then things really start to go unravel, because there's been this whole thing on the news, and also it's been reported on social media that government officials and everything have had their stuff leaked, addresses, contact info, stuff like that. And now that has happened to Iman. So he says, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take off, and we're going to tape up your camera phones, and we're going to take off, and we're going to go back to my birthplace. And that's basically it. Well, they get spotted at a gas station. He chases people. It's like Toyota Tercels over there, almost, the way those cars were shaped. Heads over there and basically chases them. And the idea is, these people are filming, and what do you have to say, prosecutor? All these people are dying because of you, because of your corruption. And we're filming this. Well, there's no signal, so they get called out on their bullshit. And then the family goes to his birthplace, which has faulty equipment, electricity, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know where the hell it is. Outskirts of Tehran, I assume. And then basically Iman finally snaps. He's like, where the hell's the gun? Where the hell's the goddamn gun? It turns out Sana took it. Because why not? And yeah, Iman basically snaps. He has been grilling his family, doing it in front of the camera. The family finally steps up. He is upset with this uprising of women wanting to be respected. And yeah, he just happens to have jail holding cells in this basement. It's fine. Whatever. The only one he didn't give was Sana, because Sana took off and finally got to her phone, was able to watch how to do, gun loading and, everything, gun safety videos, and figure out how to shoot. So she's going to use that. Now, mind you, this is all accelerated from the time we got to about the car chase to this point is about 20, 25 minutes tops. So it does take its time getting there. Again, we could have cut 15 to 20 minutes. And then everybody decides to escape because Sana basically helps her sister and mother escape. And they run through this maze. It's this maze of like stone houses in the mountains and stuff like that. It's really weird. It doesn't seem like it would be comfortable to live in, but I guess when you need quarters to live in. Nevertheless, they're racing around. It kind of looks like a goddamn maze. It kind of looks like, like they're up here like this is like a Scooby-Doo sketch. They're just running around. And then eventually Iman gets a hold of his wife and is dragging his wife down because that's what a normal behaving person does, is drag their wife around. Maybe Iman was never that good of a guy. Maybe. The actor did a great job, by the way. And now the idea is Sana has the gun aimed at him. Oh, are you going to shoot me? Are you going to shoot me if that's what it takes? Oh, where'd you learn this? Because she was looking up gun safety videos. Smart kid. And then the gun goes off. And then the dirt basically was either loose or it just took a bullet hitting the ground to collapse. And Iman is buried, and it's like his hand is holding, stuck up like a tree, like a fig tree, like something, like it's buried and everything. It's like it's stuck up. It's like gnarled branches. And then that's it. That's it. Seemingly the wife and seemingly the mother and daughters are fine, I assume. It is certainly a wild movie. It takes its time. It's very well performed. Again, even with the aforementioned runtime issues, I still got to give it an A+. The fact that this movie exists, it's well worth watching. It's well worth sinking your teeth into. And dive into what the director talked about in the interviews he's done and find out more about the actors who have been exiled. And read up on this stuff because they went through hell to produce this, and it should be respected and it should be appreciated. So yeah, A+. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe. Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritlin, and I'll see you soon.